Welcome back to the 128 KB podcast. Woohoo!
Yes, we are back once again.
Due to lack of popular demand.
Oh, we switched it round.
Oh my god!
Oh,
This is your weekly dose of madness and gaming. I would say all things gaming, but we can't cover everything gaming.
There are lots of things in gaming.
Yes. How have you been this week, Andy?
Yeah, not too bad.
What's your week in gaming been like?
I've been playing with some streamy device thing.
Oh, yes. More streamy devices, more new handheld thingies.
The handheld thingy of the streamy devicey thingy.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, that's exciting.
It wasn't very good.
Was it absolutely rubbish?
It was, yeah. Sorry.
That was
Sorry,
a pun.
guys.
Yeah. What have you been playing?
Diablo 4 with you. I was just about to ask what you have been playing, but I know what you've been playing because you've been playing with me.
Yes.
We've been playing Diablo 4 Season 4, haven't we?
We have, and I am a Diablo virgin.
Yes, I know.
You're trying to convert me, and you're trying to sell it on its great story and its depth. And how am I playing it, Andy?
Well, to put it into context for those that don't play Diablo 4, once you've completed the storyline, the next time you play or go into a season, you can skip the storyline.
Yeah.
But obviously, me, Christina, and Temperus, one of our members of the channel, have been playing. We've already completed the story. So I said, we're going to have to play through the story with AJ because he can't skip it. And he hasn't experienced it yet. It's so good.
Yeah.
So you're like, yeah, I'm all right. Yeah. First cutscene.
Skip.
He'd skipped it. Second cutscene, we're like, you got to watch this one. This one's good.
Oh, I've skipped it. Sorry.
And it was like, every cutscene, you're just skipping them all.
To be fair, I let the opening cutscene play.
Yeah, well, you had to get to the game menu.
Yeah, I did, and it was very good.
It's really good.
It looked beautiful.
Yeah,
it was very
stunning,
compelling in the story.
Yeah.
But I feel like now this is a bit stupid. I know, but because it's been out for a while, I feel like it's a waste of time. So I'm just like, I just want to play.
It's so good. You need to watch it.
I know. What I promised I would do is watch all of the cutscenes in one long YouTube montage. I'm sure it exists.
Yeah, of course it will.
And just watch it, and so I can appreciate it.
I would do it probably sooner rather than later.
So far, I think, I don't know, we've played for like 10 hours or so, I guess. And
a good chunk, yeah.
I think there's a woman called Lilith and some rose petals and a big dog.
Yes. Yeah,
and
her dad.
It takes place in like hell or something.
Kind of, yeah. Some parts are.
Yeah, there was a bit that looked hot.
Yeah, Mephisto's lair. Yeah.
We went through a big fiery hole.
We did, yeah.
Yeah, and that isn't the aftermath of the curry either.
No, but it was the aftermath of AJ's lunch before we hit record.
I shouldn't be allowed to eat. That's all it is. I should
It's normally me.
Photosynthesize. I've been really enjoying it though. I have to say, firstly, those games that are kind of isometric in their layout.
Yeah. I know not normally your cup of tea.
No, I did play the Ascent for a while.
Yeah, that's really good.
Which was really good.
Twin stick shooter.
It's really hard on your own though. It's a bit of a chore on your own.
It's meant to be played together.
Like those games are. They're supposed to be co-op.
Yeah.
So I was dubious getting into Diablo. I could say I was diabulous.
Ooh.
That doesn't work. I don't know why I said that.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's how.
That was diabolical.
That was good.
Yeah.
So I was a bit dubious. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this, but I'll play it because it's a co-op game. We can all play together.
Yes,
that'll be fun in
Unlike
itself.
Fallout 76.
Oh my God.
Which we try to play.
Why is the co-op so broken in it?
Because it's old, I think.
It's not that old.
2018.
It's so broken. For those of you who don't know, in Fallout 76, if you decide to play it co-op, which
is like the whole point of the game,
is the entire point of it, absolutely. If you go to do missions of any kind that aren't events, like the storyline kind of missions, you have to all do it separately.
Yeah.
So you go into like what's essentially a dungeon, and you can't see each other. So we're basically all playing our separate versions of the game just on a call.
Yeah, we might be
other.
playing a single player game on the telephone.
Might as well just be in a Discord, phoning each other up.
Yeah.
So it just got really annoying.
Yeah, it was frustrating.
So we ditched that pretty quickly. The way they've done co-op in Diablo is so amazing.
It's really good. Really good.
The way you can just like drop in and out.
Yes.
Oh, I'm just going to go back to the city and like sort out my loot, and you guys carry on, and I'll just teleport to you, and you're halfway through a quest or an event or something. It's so well done.
It's really good. Yeah, I love it.
So I've enjoyed the gameplay. I've enjoyed the gameplay loop. I like how how like crazy the combat is.
Yes.
It's just ridiculous.
Full on, yeah. It gets even more intense as well. It's going to get better.
And I like the fact that I've got a flamethrower.
Yeah.
I haven't actually got a flamethrower.
AJ's a mage.
I'm a mage,
just flaming everything.
Yeah. So I just go from a skill tree looking for what are like the hardcore spells.
Where's the flames?
Yeah. Give me the pyromancy, please. So yeah, I didn't think I'd be into it, but I am into it.
Yeah, it's really
although
good.
I'm skipping the story like a heathen.
But yes, it is good. And season 4 brings some good stuff. Makes it a bit easier to level and stuff as well. So
I don't know what the difference is, to be fair, because I haven't seen the rest.
Oh, I'll fill you in after.
Was it more of a chore before?
I really enjoyed it anyway. But yeah, there's new stuff. There's like there's bigger. I think there's less loot drops, but more higher like items, like legendaries and stuff.
How many
drop
people
more
can you
frequently.
play co-op with at the same time?
I don't actually know how many people can be in a party. I'm not too sure. Not too sure, because until us 4 started playing, it was only ever me and Christina playing it together. So I'm not actually entirely sure. But probably quite a lot, to be fair.
I was just thinking, if you're a member and you're in the Discord, you're always more than welcome to join in. I think it'd be quite good fun. Just the big bombasticness of it.
Yeah, there's now a Diablo 4 channel in Discord.
There is. So for channel members, that's my plug of the day. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. Although, that is part of all things gaming.
It is. Oh, there you go. You've linked it in. Yes.
And talking of gaming and games that embrace gamers and the love of community and bringing multi-platform gaming together.
Yeah. For the gamers.
For the gamers. PlayStation. For the shareholders.
Yes.
PlayStation.
Yes.
Do they just hate all gamers?
Yeah. But they must hate money as well.
Do they hate money in gamers?
I think they do, yeah.
Do they like lying?
Yes.
Do they enjoy taking an amazing game that could be an incredible multi-platform experience like Diablo is and go, do you know what? Nah.
Helldivers? No.
Nah. So I wanted to touch upon the Helldivers controversy that is PlayStation just ruining it for everyone.
Yeah.
And of course, that marries over to another game that we'll talk about as well, which is Ghost of Tsushima, which they've done exactly the same shyster move.
Yeah, it's pretty much PlayStation and Sony hate PC gamers. That's what it is, isn't it?
It is that. I want to talk about what happened and the bits that I just don't understand. Why they lied about it, why they kind of sneakily just deleted the game from certain territories. But also, if that's their approach, why bother doing PlayStation PC at all?
Yeah.
Why bother publishing the games onto Steam?
I don't understand.
Just don't. If you want it to be a closed shop, just make it just on PlayStation and carry on your weird closed shop.
Yes. But it seems like they're making even more of a push for PC.
Yeah.
But then they're like putting the walls up around it so tightly.
Ridiculous.
Like, it's just weird.
Fill them in. What exactly happened? And focus on Helldivers 2, because that's obviously the bigger story of the two.
So everyone knows that Helldivers 2 has been like a phenomenal success.
Yeah,
like
huge.
way bigger than anyone anticipated. It was like a viral game, right?
Yeah.
I've still yet to buy it. Like I really want to play it at some point. It looks phenomenal. Like,
great fun.
And I would be buying it on PC.
Yeah.
Because again, like we're doing with Diablo, I'm playing on PC. You guys are playing
on
across
console,
PlayStation or Xbox.
Yes.
So we're all multi-platform playing together.
Yeah.
And the same with Helldivers 2 is cross-platform between PlayStation and PC, which is still a bit crazy when you think not very long ago was that a big no-no for PlayStation.
Well, yeah, because it's touching on the Microsoft world.
Exactly, yeah. So anyway, they were like, yeah, it's on PC as well. Cross-platform, everyone lost their minds, got huge, hundreds of thousands of reviews on Steam being like extremely positive or whatever.
Because it's a great game.
Because it's a great game.
Good
Everyone's
fun.
having fun.
Yeah.
Like everyone's included.
Yeah, amazing.
And then one day, they were like, oh, by the way, we're going to introduce PSN like linking.
Ooh.
So you have to have a PlayStation Network account linked to your PC game.
On that point, first of all, I will say in their defense that they made that public from the start. They said there was a timer on it. But what I wanted to ask was, does that mean you have to have a paid PlayStation Network subscription?
No.
Or just an active account?
Just an account. So it just needs to link it. So like on Steam, you can link your like the good example, because we're talking about Diablo, right? On Xbox, when you download Diablo 4, it forces you to link your Bethesda account. Sorry, not Bethesda.
Battle.net account.
Battle.net.
Yeah.
Where am I going with that? Your Battle.net.
They'll just break it as well. Let's be fair.
So you have to link your Xbox account to your Blizzard account. That's where I was going, not Bethesda, Blizzard, right? And then it like gives it access.
Yes.
And then you can load the game, right? Because it's a Blizzard game.
Yeah.
So that's effectively what Sony said they wanted to do from the get-go. They did actually say that. Yeah. So they did say, look, at some point, you're going to have to link your PlayStation Network. But they said we haven't figured it out yet. You know, it's not a thing yet. So just play the game. So everyone all the way around the world have been buying Helldivers 2, loving it, having the best success. Sony have been making money out of it. The publishers have been making money out of it. You know, really, really, really good.
The small developer that worked on it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Doing well from it.
Yes, exactly that. So fantastic news. And then they just out of nowhere went, okay, you got to link this PlayStation Network account. I didn't even think anything of it when I very first saw that. I just thought, oh, well, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Until then, Twitter went nuts, X, whatever you call it. And everyone was going crazy, going, well, you can't create a PlayStation Network account in so many countries.
It's like 170 countries.
It's gone up to over 200 now.
Is it really?
Yeah. So everyone started kicking off because obviously you break terms of service if you lie.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So you could create a PlayStation Network account and just say you're in a different country. Yeah. But that is actually a breach of contract, isn't it? Right. So people are like, well, no, we want to legally play Helldivers 2.
Yeah. Especially if you've bought it.
Yeah. So basically, overnight almost, PlayStation just went, nope, it started as 170, then it went to 177, now it's 200 plus countries that just got, nope.
It's the majority of the world.
Yes. And also, most of those people had already bought it.
Yeah.
So they were already playing the game and having fun, and then literally
overnight.
had the rug swept out from under their feet and just gone, no, you can't play this anymore.
Such an unreal move.
It was madness.
So it's not like it was a secret to them that there was going to be this massive player base that couldn't access the game. Because
surely they already can see what countries had the game and where it had been purchased and who's playing.
Don't let them buy it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and I know that's a bit restrictive, but if you're going to force that they have this network that's only available in certain countries, don't let the people in those other countries buy it.
Yeah,
because you're stealing from them.
Yes.
Let's be frank about it.
Yeah. Well,
they knew that this was going to be. It's not a secret to them. They know what countries it's available in or not.
Yeah, exactly. I think, again, because they are so closed shop in their PlayStation land with the console.
Yeah.
I guess on Steam, they just didn't even think like, oh, anyone around the planet can buy this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So maybe they were naive to the fact that they are PC noobs themselves and they didn't know what they were doing.
I don't buy that at all.
No.
I know you're trying to be like fair to them.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case.
I only said it because it's not the first game they've released on PC.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, that's true. There's loads of games on there already, but most of them are single-player experiences.
They are.
Ratchet and Clank, God of War, Spider-Man.
So I guess this is the first experience that relies on a multiplayer experience, which, as anyone knows who's got PlayStation, you have to have a PlayStation Network account in order to play online.
Yeah. And it makes sense, because they want it all to be within their network, but like you said, from the get-go, it should have not been available in those countries.
Yeah.
Like from the get-go, it should have already been delisted. But instead, they let potentially millions of people get completely shafted. And people were seeking refunds.
It got massively review bombed as well.
That was it. So overnight, as soon as this happened, and then like within hours, I went onto Steam where it was like extremely positive or overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah.
And then it was overwhelmingly negative. There was 200,000 disliked, like negative reviews of just everyone saying like, what the hell, PSN, like it's broken the game. I've bought a game and now it's a brick. Like I can't play the game anymore.
Now, there was like a a brief moment of like success story in this.
Yes, there was.
Before it turned really sour.
Yeah, before it went even worse.
Before it got, and I find it hard to believe that this story can get worse than it's like that baby reindeer show.
Yes.
Where, oh, that must be as bad as it gets.
Yeah, no.
It gets way worse.
Yeah, it gets even worse. Yeah.
This just keeps descending.
Yeah.
So there was this brief moment of celebration, and even the developers of Helldivers came out publicly to celebrate the democratic success, because the whole thing's about like, you know, finding democracy in planets.
Absolutely.
So they was punning on that.
Yeah.
Like this democratic success, and it was. So there was this groundswell of movement from gamers, just despondent with Sony. Again, like only a number of weeks after the despondence with Stellar Blade as well.
Yeah.
It's just bad news story after another one.
Yeah.
Sony shafting small game developers seems to be their thing at the moment.
Yes, yeah.
So there was this huge groundswell of movement. And then Sony came out and went, do you know what? Actually, we'll roll back on this.
Yeah. You don't
We'll
need
roll back on this.
Don't need the PlayStation Network account anymore with Helldivers 2.
We'll let you play it.
We'll just play it.
Yeah. You don't need the account anymore. It's fine. We're sorry we did this. We did warn people, but we underestimate the problem it would cause.
Yes.
So roll back and literally the developers came out, was celebrating.
Yeah. And this was like probably 48 hours period. Like it was a very quick turnover. And everyone's reviews reversed.
Yes.
Well, at least the vast majority of them. So then it changed from being overwhelmingly positive to overwhelmingly negative to now mixed. Yeah. Because like 100,000 people reversed their negatives, but most people probably forgot.
Or probably delete the game after, so I'm not going back.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe you got refunded. I would love to know how many refunds were issued.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But again, that just shafts the developers, doesn't it? You know, Sony don't care.
No, they don't miss the money.
They don't give a
the developer misses the money.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And that decides whether potentially, I don't know how many people work for their company.
I think it's quite a small
let's say it's 50, 100 people, something like that. I mean, their jobs all depend on this.
Yeah.
At a time where even the biggest studios are laying off hundreds of people.
And they've got a viral success.
This
shouldn't be happening.
No.
Like, they should be the top of their world, popping bottles of champagne, you know, not clenching their buttocks. You know, like thinking, what's Daddy Sony going to do to me?
Before the final part of like what they did, there's a moment there that you just said that Sony, and it must be unintentional. There's no way that they all wake up in the morning and go, let's do something evil today.
I don't know, they might. Yeah, I mean, with what's been going on
like
recently.
Scrooge McDuck. You know, what can I do?
What can we do to shaft them? Let's release some lossless headphones.
£200.
Yeah, that's it.
I brought up Stellar Blade a minute ago. Another tiny developer that's made a viral success of a game.
First game on a console.
Helldivers 2, end of February, beginning of March. They did exactly the same, and the success of that has just continued to grow. It's kind of astounded everyone. It must be including them.
Yeah.
Isn't it appalling that in both of these situations, Sony have managed to find ways to create controversy, to create bad news, to hamstring the potential growth of these development companies, which should be, like you say, riding that wave of success and going, no way, we're going to have this influx of money and eyeballs and attention. We can really start working on that big project that we've always dreamed of.
Exactly, and that's what they should be doing, you know, because they've just had a success. They've rite of passaged it. Do you know what I mean? Like they've had the big guy at the head of the studios go, all right, guys, nice one. Yeah. Now let's do this really good project.
Maybe that slightly obscure, that risky game, that the ones that occasionally become like generation defining games.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
That's how it happens because they've got the support, the foundation of a great success before it.
Yeah, we want to see them grow, not, you know, stagnate.
Instead, I would not be surprised if these bad news stories have dramatically affected those companies.
They will
financially.
They must have.
The amount of refunds that must have been issued.
Absolutely.
For Helldivers 2. I wonder, I'd love to know, I wonder how many people were even successful in the refund.
Yeah.
But anyway, like we're saying, there was this democratic movement and democracy won, as Helldivers team would say.
Yeah.
Sony rolled back on this decision.
They did.
And there were I saw the tweets and stuff going out. I was like, oh no way,
Yeah.
that's weird.
I couldn't believe it. I was sending like all the like updates to you at the time.
No way. It's
Like, oh, have you seen what Sony done? Oh wow, now look what Sony have done. Do you know what I mean? And it was like, oh yeah, winner for the, it was a big win for PC gamers. Like, yeah, screw the PSN account.
I don't know how much the gap was, but I remember waking up the next morning.
Yes.
And you had sent me, I think, a tweet from Pirate Software. He's a guy who does like live streaming, does some live streaming, but also does some development live as well. Really big, really great creator, lovely guy. Always shares stuff really honestly. He had like drilled into it and gone,
yeah,
they knew all along, and look at this move that they did overnight.
Yes.
And they just switched it off in the countries where the PlayStation Network was not available.
Yes, yeah. So they said, you don't need a PSN account anymore.
No, you don't.
But if you can't have one,
then you can't play the game.
Then it's not for sale anymore.
Well, just switch it off.
Pull it off. Yeah, just take it down from the store, delist it in your country.
I'm sorry, what?
It's the same thing. How does this not change? What? Like, it's no different.
It's such awful and such thin spin that everyone can see through it instantly. Oh, don't worry, you won't need a PlayStation Network account if you don't have one anymore.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the game.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, where's the rationale behind this? It doesn't. It's the same outcome.
It's the same outcome. They were trying to spin it as a positive news story. We listened to the community.
Yes.
We listened to gamers.
Yeah.
And what they were doing behind everyone's back was putting a finger up their bum.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. It literally was. They did a baby reindeer.
Stop.
They literally did. He's broken.
I'm done. That's it.
Oh, days.
I don't. I'm gone now.
But yeah, no. So Sony did something like shocking there. I wasn't even expecting them to do that. Like when I saw that they'd said you don't need a PSN network, I thought, okay, they're on. They're really trying to get PC gamers on their side now.
Yes,
and this is going to be a huge success for everything moving forward.
Yeah,
just any of their games, just go for it. Have fun. It'll bring more and more people into Sony games.
They need to sell like everyone else. Although PlayStation 5 has been a commercial success, they still need to increase their margins like everyone else. They still need to sell their first party games. Otherwise they wouldn't be publishing them on Steam in the first place.
Exactly. Yeah.
They get, I don't know how much they get, probably 60%.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Valve take what?
30%?
30%, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it is. Most of the platforms which they sell, it'll take 30%, and then the rest goes to the publisher, and then that's distributed.
Then split again. So.
Yeah. So they make a lot of money from this, basically.
Yeah, of course.
If they can get millions of people to buy it, which they would have. And if they don't want that, then just don't do it in the first place. But this halfway house nonsense and this spinning of lies of like, oh, we'll listen to you, we'll give you what you want, but secretly we won't with the finger.
Yeah. Well, they did give. They didn't lie, did they? They said you don't need a PlayStation account
because you can't play the game.
Because you can't play it in those countries anyway. But for those people that can play it in the countries that are supported, you won't need a PlayStation account.
Would you like to play my new game, Andy? You don't need a credit card to buy it.
Oh wow, that sounds great. Yeah.
Because it doesn't exist.
Because I haven't made it yet.
It's not real.
Yeah.
You can play it for free, no credit card needed.
Oh, that's great.
Because it's not there.
Because there's nothing.
Yeah,
great.
That's what they did.
Sweet disappointment.
Yeah, just pure disappointment. It's a real shyster move.
Massive move, yeah.
And interestingly, in the same breakdown, I was totally unaware of this, probably because the first party PlayStation games, I play them on the PlayStation. I'm in that fortunate position of having multiple platforms on which to play. And I totally acknowledge that's a very fortunate position.
Yeah.
So games like Helldivers, I'll play it on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima, I'll play it on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
But obviously, Sony want to have that game in as many people's hands as possible.
Yep.
So they also release it through the PlayStation PC thing.
Absolutely. And we've been all the PC players have been dreaming of Ghosts of Tsushima, as I like to call it. On PC for years now.
Because it's a phenomenal game.
It's such a great game. And I've wanted it on Steam because I want to play it on a portable.
Yeah.
Like, the Steam Deck or the ROG Ally or whatever. Yeah. It'd be so good to have that experience portably. And like when that announcement happened, like, yes, it is coming, Director's Cut is coming, like everyone again was like, yay, you know. But what did they do?
They decided that, much like Helldivers, they would just withhold it in the countries that don't have a PlayStation Network.
Yeah, the same
available.
Countries.
Exactly the same thing. So over 200 odd countries, just it's unavailable there. Japan's a one exception because they've got a different way of doing it, so it is available there, but under a different system.
I saw something about that, but I didn't read into it, so I'm not too sure what's going on there. But yeah,
it is available, but just differently.
Yep.
But everywhere else that you can't have a PS Network account, it's unavailable,
and you only need a PSN account for the multiplayer. So the whole single player experience.
Which is what that game is built around.
Yeah, has now been taken away from all those people. Yeah. So instead, why don't they just take the multiplayer experience and have that as an add-on or a separate thing on Steam? Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And so everyone could just play the base game if they want to. And that's also screwed it for the Steam Deck players.
Yeah.
Because whilst the game, because it's Sucker Punch that do the game, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it's Sucker Punch that make Ghost of Tsushima. They have said, like, don't worry, Steam Deck players, it's gonna work. Like, you know, it's gonna work, but we can't get it verified because the multiplayer requires PSN account, which means it's not verified on Steam Deck. Yeah. So it will say unsupported. So loads of people won't buy it because they will see, unsupported on Steam Deck. Yeah. When really the single player experience will run properly on the Steam Deck. So
even if you're in the UK, let's say, or the USA, if I buy that game from the Steam library, do I need a PlayStation Network account? Because it's available in my country. I can have an account. Do I need a linked account to play the single player stuff?
No.
Just the multiplayer bit. So it will let me play the single player version.
Yeah, because that's the same with Ratchet & Clank, God of War.
Yeah, but I just mean because the multiplayer game's bundled in, like GTA 5 is, it's bundled in together.
I think if you load up the game, you're going to have like
single player.
Yeah, single player, multiplayer. And if you click on multiplayer,
because of that, Valve won't verify it for the Steam Deck because not all elements are available to play on Steam, so it's not actually technically compatible.
Yeah.
Even though it will play.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah.
It's an awful bit of marketing.
So
it's confusing.
Yeah. And then you, on top of that, you've got all those countries that could have played the single player.
Yeah.
Even without a PSN
and so that goes to the bigger question. I don't know if you know the answer. You might do. In the countries where PlayStation Network isn't available, can they download the game anyway to play the single player version? They've just made it unavailable.
Yeah, the whole game is not there. You can't even buy it. That's what I mean. Why didn't they just separate the multiplayer so that everyone in those countries could buy it without a PSN?
I've got a crazy idea, right?
Yeah.
And it might seem mad, but if Sony can't figure out how to make games available for PC players, how about they...
Don't bother.
Just don't. Yeah, just don't do it.
just don't bother. Yeah.
You can't figure it out.
Yeah.
Maybe don't do it.
Yeah, just don't.
You know, and everyone will all enjoy all the games that are in the Steam library without PlayStation in there. And do you know what? I think we'll all be happy.
Yeah.
The fact that those games are there or will be there, it's like an added bonus.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, cool, I can play Ghost of Tsushima. Oh, only if you happen to be lucky enough to live in like 5 countries.
Yeah, in the world. Yeah, great. But if they're going to go down that route, the whole networking linked thing, you know,
they
the
100% are.
But why not just, like you said, don't bother and just release single player games?
Just single player games.
Do you know what I mean? That
I've got a theory about Sony, and I've said about this a few times. That I've got this weird like little notepad in my phone. I keep ideas for podcasts.
Yes.
And some of them are terrible.
Yes.
And you'll never see them.
Yes.
Like I miss demo discs. That's a bad idea.
It's not. It's great.
It's great. But I mean, about 5 people will watch it and it'll be like 5 minutes long. I'll just go, I miss demo discs.
Yeah. And I'll say yes.
Yeah, I do too. One of my like weird like mind fart ideas that are in there is Sony now the Apple of gaming?
Yeah.
Or becoming the Apple of gaming.
Yes.
So I've got this.
Is that just because of the price of the accessories?
Partly. No, 100% is. I've just got this ongoing theory that much like how Apple became this closed shop with beautifully aesthetic hardware that was overpriced for the market on what's actually available, but did stupid things every so often that no one could understand, would release random products that are somehow only first party compliant with their own stuff and that no one would actually use it. Like it doesn't work as well.
£1,000 monitor stand.
Exactly like that. Oh, you want the monitor bracket for your new Mac Pro monitor? Yeah, no, that bracket's £800. I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
Oh, Sony's equivalent is, do you want to play games remotely?
Oh, yeah, I'd love that.
Yeah, we'll take away all the good features.
Okay.
Just leave you with remote play and charge you £200. How about that?
That sounds great, yeah. I'd love that. Yeah, I'd love being sharp.
Would you like a Pro controller without all the great features of the actual Pro controllers on the market?
No Hall effect.
No Hall effect, no. We'll charge you £150 or whatever it is for it.
1 hour battery life.
The DualSense controller, man.
Apparently it's been improved, isn't it?
It has. Yeah. And that's acknowledgement
From 1
that
hour
it sucked.
to 2 hours.
Even though whenever we talk about how bad the battery life is on the PlayStation controller,
no!
so many PlayStation fans, you're so wrong, I get 8 hours. I don't know what you're doing. Not playing the game?
In.
Yeah, playing it wired. Even then the battery life drains.
To below the point of which it can take the charge. So it just stops working.
So my point being that the PlayStation just seemed to, or Sony in particular,
they make some weird moves, don't they?
And they're making more and more obscure moves into much more overpriced things and a much more closed shop, when the rest of the gaming industry is moving in the opposite direction. And not necessarily just with price, but when you think about how Xbox are behaving since our last business director, about like, we want you to play anywhere and everywhere. When you look at some of the big developers like going multi-platform, just everyone else seems to be becoming much more about the players and making it a much more
just for whatever you want to do, like play, play it anywhere kind of thing.
And Sony seem to be moving in the opposite direction to that. And this weird move with the games that they are releasing on PC or in the Steam library is just much more of that, this weird hamstringing.
Are they turning into Gollum? My precious.
Let's go back into
the PlayStation is,
my precious.
That's it. And they're just trying to run away with the PlayStation.
Holding onto the cases of discs that no one uses anymore.
Yeah, that's it. Just the Helldivers 2 disc.
Yeah.
No one can play this.
They're just releasing remastered versions of Red Dead 1 for 50 quid on PS4 in 2023.
Not their flagship console.
Not their flagship console.
What is with that?
I don't even want to talk about that because it actually makes me angry.
It just
annoyed me.
There's just so many weird things that they're doing. I just don't get it. I don't understand.
Whether you're PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, or PC, whatever it is that you're in, you just have to accept what's good for players and what's not. And stupid shit like that is just not good for players.
It's not good for anybody.
In general.
It's not good for anybody.
No.
It's not good for anybody. Because you're screwing over the developers, you're screwing over the people that are playing, you're screwing over the people that can play it.
Yes.
Because those people that are in the one country on the planet that can play have now lost everyone that they can play with.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And they've probably already been playing with for however many weeks or months it's been out.
And just, all right, the team behind it, I know I've said it before in this, but like, the team behind it should have been enjoying the success of this game.
Yeah.
And if that team is creative enough as a group to have the ability to come up with a game as fun as Helldivers 2, that's been so universally accepted as fun, imagine what they could do with a bigger budget or bigger backing behind them or a bigger team that they can assemble.
Yeah.
That could be some really exciting piece of entertainment.
Yes.
I mean, the team that originally made the first Grand Theft Auto were a tiny team.
Yeah.
From that success, you now have GTA 5, which is the biggest thing that exists. Since
they could finally get over the nausea that their game created.
My God.
That's what they needed the budget for.
Like just giving anti-sickness to people to play GTA 1. It sucks, is my point.
It's ridiculous, it's really bad, especially when you see what Xbox are doing, which they're trying to really be for the gamers. And just trying to get out there everywhere.
Well, that's actually the Red Dead 1 example, the remaster of Red Dead 1's a perfect example of that. So it gets released on PlayStation 4 in 2023, and it's a 40 or 50 pound disc for your PS4 that you can put in the PS5.
Yeah.
Right, why are we just not putting a PS5 case on it?
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, guys. What are we doing now?
Understood that.
Okay, so I'm paying 50 quid for a PS4
version,
game, which is a remaster of a PS3 game.
Yeah.
the equivalent in Xbox land is I put in my original disc,
from
or
the
I
Xbox
buy a
360.
second-hand one for £1 in CEX or whatever, and it will download the remastered version.
Yeah.
Oh,
with a high resolution and frame rate or whatever it was.
Just download.
Yeah. And that'd been there for ages.
That's already exists.
Yeah. Before it got repurposed and recharged by PlayStation and Nintendo.
Yeah. I just honestly don't understand where they're coming from. But again, like my analogy of they're turning into Apple, they're wildly successful.
Yeah.
5 times more units sold in the last quarter than Xbox. All of Xbox.
Maybe they're lying again.
Well, there is a part of this. Okay. I know we like a tinfoil hat here.
We do.
And I'm not using the bingo card at all yet so far today.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
This isn't about Final Fantasy VII.
I was going to say, keep that under wraps.
No. Tinfoil hat time. So the agency that's responsible for reporting on like international game sales, I can't remember the name of them.
I can't either. I've been thinking ever since we talked about it earlier and I can't remember.
Anyway, they do the reporting on like how many units are shipped and where they're shipped and stuff of both software and of hardware units. They were specifically requested by Sony to count the PlayStation Portal as a console rather than an accessory in apparently an attempt to boost the numbers of units sold as a kind of headline figure, because it does get reported, and especially in tech media, the kind of places, boring articles that we read, those numbers get reported. So in that, we sold 5 times more consoles than Xbox in the last quarter. In that sales figures is the PlayStation Portal as well as the PS5 and PS4 too.
Yes.
Not that it's PS4 too. The PS4.
The PS4
as
too.
well.
Okay. Is that
PS42.
Like PS5.5?
Yeah. Slim.
The PS4 too. Yeah.
Okay. So it's a slightly nefarious move because the Portal was definitely not a console.
It's not a console.
Definitely not a console.
It's just a controller with a screen on it.
It's an accessory for certain.
It's an accessory.
Because it requires you to have a PlayStation 5 to use it.
Yeah. It's not a console. There's no guts in it.
If they had
streams
released the features that we said they should have, not just we, sorry, that everyone said they should, just us, because we're the most important one. Yeah, of course, yeah. If they had released those features that everyone wanted, then I would say it's a console. Even if it had the bare bones feature of something like an Absolute.
Yeah. If
it
runs
runs off like Android or something.
If it could stream from the PlayStation Network without having a PlayStation 5, then it could be classed as a console.
Do you know, now I realise why they didn't do it. It's starting to make so much more sense.
Go on, fill me in.
And this Steam stuff fits in with it perfectly.
Yeah.
The countries where PlayStation Network is available.
Yes.
So in order to stream games, what do you have to have? A PlayStation Network account.
Yes. Yeah.
You can't sell the Portal.
That's true.
If it's for streaming games in the countries where a PlayStation Network account is required.
Because there's nowhere that accepts PlayStation Network account. There's only one country. By one, we need about 5.
Yeah, I don't know how many countries. It must be like 20 countries or something.
There'd be a lot, but you're right. So all these 200 countries that now can no longer play Helldivers 2,
or Ghost of Tsushima,
they can buy a Portal because there are no accounts required.
No, because it's just remote playing a PlayStation. It makes so much more sense.
No one in those countries would have a PlayStation anyway because they can't have a PlayStation Network. They can't play online.
Can't play online, no. So for all the games they need to play online, they can't do it. So the sales must be really low anyway.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't be able to sell that hardware. And especially as they're counting it as a console for their headline figures, which is what they give their shareholders and what they give out to the press. We get those kind of press releases and it's like, oh, we've sold this many million units. Yawn.
Yeah. Cool story, bro.
Yeah, cool story. Can you make something good now?
Can you make a handheld yet?
Are we in year 4?
Yeah.
We're in year 4 of PS5.
4. Yeah.
Year 4 of it. They're still releasing PS4 games.
I know.
That's all I'm going to say.
And pulling all the PS5 games from the PS5 players and PC players.
Yeah. I'll just go back to the point. I know we're going round in circles, but before we end, it's a shyster move.
Massively.
It does massive harm to the developers, and these are small developers.
Yeah.
We're talking about in these games.
But you're screwing the PC community hard.
You're screwing the PC community really
they're
hard.
They're not going to trust you or want to buy your stuff anymore because how long is it going to take before you just pull that game again?
Yeah.
you know.
And so the just general trust as well. You see a PlayStation Network, PlayStation published by PlayStation game, you'd be like, oh no, because something bad's going to happen in a minute, and then I'll lose my however much it is they charge. And if I've played more than 2 hours, I don't even know if I'm getting a refund.
That's true.
In a game like Helldivers, for example, you would have definitely played more than 2 hours because that's just one evening of playing it. So you'd have played it for a week, maybe, a month, and then they've just taken it away.
I'm sure that Valve were refunding because it was such a bad move, you know, because they literally just turned it off. They went, nope.
But my overarching point is like, and I've said it a few times, if you can't sort it out, just don't do it.
Yeah, exactly. Just release single player games.
Just release single player games.
And let
Ratchet
everyone...
and Clank did quite well.
Exactly, yeah. So did Spider-Man, God of War, all that stuff.
Great examples.
Ghosts would.
Yeah.
Just take the multiplayer out.
Just take it,
You know, and just...
The game's built around the single player experience anyway. The multiplayer is like, I've not even played
an add-on. No, I haven't.
So I don't know what it's like, but I know that it's a single player game.
I didn't even realise there was a multiplayer DLC, to be perfectly honest, until all this started coming out. I was like, oh, I didn't know about that.
It feels like since we started this podcast, Sony have failed me.
They have, haven't they?
Because honestly, when we first started it, I'm such a big PlayStation fan.
Such a massive PlayStation fanboy.
Literally, like a collector,
PlayStation pony.
Just all out. I was like, just love the PlayStation, and I actually actively disliked the Xbox because of my experience with the 360.
And now you're turning Xbox and PC.
I might be spending too much time with you. No, it's more that it's just they just keep letting me down, and I'm sure I'm not alone in that.
Yeah,
I can't be.
Yeah. Now, I feel like recently over the past few years, they've just been tripping over themselves hard.
Yeah,
like they always seem to me, and it may be just because we're further in this now.
Yeah,
but from an outside perspective, as like a consumer's perspective or whatever, they always seemed to be ahead of the game and on top of their game with their vision. And it was Xbox that didn't have a vision. Oh, we're going to be like a multiplayer thing.
Console.
Yeah, you know, or no, we're going to be a media center and stuff. So Xbox always felt like they were dancing around and Sony knew what they were.
Yeah.
Now, I feel like the tides are changing. Yeah. Sony's the one doing random stuff. Like it's like they've got a blindfold on and they're just bumping into stuff.
And the concerning thing is, much like the Apple analogy, whilst they continue to be commercially successful, because the marketing clout of the PlayStation brand is so huge,
the name's
they will
massive.
sell so much. Whilst they continue to be commercially successful, they will see that as success in of itself, and will ignore all the other things. My fear is it just gets worse from here.
Yeah, maybe.
It doesn't get better.
Yeah, maybe.
Why would they change course if they're making a lot of money?
Yeah.
Which is, boil it down, that's all they really care about.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
Of course, because they're a company, you know, they've got shareholders and all that boring stuff. Not like us poor gamers. So it doesn't get any better. It just, they keep doubling down on this.
Yeah. I don't know what else is set to release on PC from them multiplayer-wise, but the thing is people are just not going to buy it.
No.
Or it will just get review bombed immediately.
Yeah.
Because PC players are pretty hardcore with that.
I'm trying to think what's been a recent PlayStation published game, a first party game.
Do they even have any?
Well, that's a really good question. Do they?
I don't know.
What platforms was Stellar Blade on? That's PlayStation.
Yeah.
That might be coming up
by PlayStation. That ain't coming to PC for another couple of years.
A year or so, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good couple of years.
And obviously, Square have already announced that
Square are like,
game
bye.
Platform. They've jumped ship. Yeah, they've jumped ship because Final Fantasy isn't selling in the units it should do.
Sony like, why are you packing your bags, guys? Don't worry,
you suck. What? The fact we'll talk about it in a different show. I know, but like the fact that Final Fantasy has been PlayStation timed exclusive for so long has been a mystery to me because it is historically a Nintendo game, and it feels like a Nintendo game. Yeah, everything about it to me, like its DNA is Nintendo.
Yes, it feels like it'd be right at home. Yeah, which it will be when Switch 2 comes out.
It's happening, man. I'm telling you, the third part of Final Fantasy VII Remake is Switch 2.
Yes,
it's going to be there.
Yes. Was that a nice segue into saying Make sure you subscribe
Yes,
to see
it
part
was.
2.
Yes.
Well, the next show,
Yeah.
which is all going to be about that.
Part 2. We don't record them on the same day, part 2.
No, we don't. No, I'm not going to be wearing the exact same clothes.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments. It's always good to have this conversation with you.
Yes.
Maybe you're like a massive PlayStation fan and you're like, you suck. Stop talking about PlayStation bad.
Yeah.
And that's
it'll
fine
be
too.
really obvious if that is you.
Yeah. Especially if he's talking that voice as well. That's the giveaway.
Record the comment in that voice.
Oh, please do.
Yes.
Yes.
But yeah, let us know if this has affected you. You know, what
That would be
country
good. Yeah.
you're in,
Yeah.
and if you can't play Helldivers or whatever, you know,
Ghosts,
let us know. And if you're a PC player and this doesn't affect you, does it affect you now? Do you know what I mean? Like, does that sway your trust in Sony bringing more games over? Are you going to boycott them or whatever? Like, we'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, channel memberships is open.
Yes, it is.
Spoke about it a few times, but it gives you access to our Discord, which is a great place to hang out, talk about games,
you
bit more.
can see pictures of AJ making me lunch.
You can. It's like our own private social network.
Yeah, it's great.
That's actually kind of what it is.
Yes.
And also you get access to these videos early and the occasional members only one as well when we've got time to record them because we love you and all of that good
that's
stuff.
an apology, isn't it? Because
Yeah,
we haven't done one in a while.
haven't done one in a couple of weeks. And of course, do subscribe to channels to stay tuned. If you're on podcast and you got to the deep end, we love you over there too.
We do.
Please do rate the show and share it with your friends and all that good stuff.
Yes.
And I guess that leaves nothing else but to say, watch another video
That's it.
smashed between our faces.
Yeah.
And we, of course, will see you next time.
Bye.